Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Town Country Optimist Club here in Northwest Austin. We are proud to be here on this 22nd day of August to honor a young lady who has done wonders for the young people in terms of athletics, providing the fields. Today we are here to honor Miss Kathy Manning. Kathy is our newest legend, and we are proud we have several gifts to include a $1,000 donation to make today. And you may want to ask yourself, what does it take to be a legend? Well, you look at Kathy and all that she's done, and you can see the quality. But it's not just that. We had to have a nomination that came in. In fact, that was from Rob Nestor, who made the nomination, so very good. And then our board looks at the nominations that come in and we say, okay, we think these people are worthy, but we don't make the final determination because we send these nominations to our other legends, and we've been doing this since March of 2010, and those legends pick the next person to be part of the Recognized Good Legends. So Kathy, you've been selected not by us, but by other legends. I'd like to introduce some other important people. Rob Nestor will be our presenter today, and we have several guests that Rob will hand to Kathy. John Manning is here, as Kathy's son, and you have a couple of people you'd like to introduce?
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
You give me the floor?
Well, just
not yet. So my father's here, Tom Manning. And so Tom has kind of been Kathy's right-hand man and has also given tens of thousands of hours at Town Country. And then as well as my sister's here with her husband Chris, they're three littles, some of which benefit from being part of Town Country now. So anyways, thank you guys for coming and being here to support Mom, obviously.
Thank you, John. We started Recognized Good back in 2008. We wanted to find a way for folks to say thank you to friends, family, acquaintances, mentors, coaches, good friends, close friends, co-workers, officers, office buddies. And we came up with an idea for the internet. We called it Recognized Good. And the thank yous started to come in. We saw some of those thank yous were far superior to others in terms of what they were talking about in terms of recognition. We said there has to be something else in there. And so in 2010, we started Recognized Good, that recognizes individuals for the different things that they've done, either for one spectacular event, a number of events, or years of longevity. And I think when you look around here, you see all the fields that we have for the kids. It is absolutely amazing what Town Country has done for everybody, for the kids, the parents, in teaching them values and skills through athletics. But I'm also reminded that we were here for what we call a Lighthouse presentation, and that's where we recognize in our Lighthouse Awards an organization that does wonderful things. In this case, it was for Town Country, and we recognized Town Country as a civic organization for the good work that they've done. We have several other recognition programs. One is called the Ethics in Youth Education, where we talk to high school kids about the importance of ethics. We don't teach ethics. We tell them about the importance of our ethical programs and what ethics can do for them both in their personal and their professional lives. We also have the Ethics in Business and Community annual event. So if you know of someone as an individual, a small organization, a medium-sized organization, or a large organization, or a nonprofit that exemplifies the highest standards of ethical treatment for their customers and ethical practices, feel free to nominate them. And every May, we have an awards dinner where we recognize the finalists and the winners of that competition. Steve, Tracy, good to see you. Steve and Tracy are former legends. I'm glad you could be here. Okay, enough about Recognized Good, and you can see a lot of the material. If you have questions about any of our programs, they're right in the material. What I'd like to do now is to ask John to come up and make a few comments.
Thanks, George. So they said to get a celebrity, but my mom invited me, so I guess I'm famous to her. I started Town and Country when I was 8 years old, and I turned 40 this summer. So that's how long my mom has been at it. And it's really exceptional. I'm thankful to recognize good. I think this is tremendous to highlight the stories of those who have served our community and served it well. We live in a very self-absorbed world, and I think the highest value in our culture is self-expression. And so to turn the focus off of that and to point to stories of people who are true heroes and true legends who have given their life to serve this community and serve kids and serve others, it's remarkable. I think about the Bible verse, it's Philippians 2:3, and it says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves." And no one has modeled that more for me in my life than my mom. It's really exceptional, and I think about the way that she has served others, an example and the role model she's been for me. It's exceptional. And she's instilled that into her children. And I today, I'm a Little League coach, and I love coaching Little League. I've done that the last few years. I've got 3 little boys. But if I'm honest, there's some selfish ambition there. Like, I want to win. I want our team to win. I want our boys to succeed and have fun. But there's some selfish ambition there. There's some vain conceit in there because I want them to heap praise on me. I want the parents to say, "Oh, you're a great coach." And I want the kids to like me and think I'm fun. But that's not the case for my mom. She started serving Town and Country when I was 8 years old, and within a few years I was off to Canyon Vista, and I was playing middle school sports onto Westwood. And for most of us, for a lot of us, that's when we kind of out, hey, we did our turn, we served while our kids were in the program, and now we're going to move on and serve somewhere else or do something else. But my mom didn't do that. Like I said, she's been at Town and Country for over 30 years, and she has nothing to gain from it. She didn't get into this because she thought, hey, maybe at year 20 of serving Town and Country, they'll make me a lifetime Optimist member. That wasn't her goal when she got into Town and Country. She didn't think, hey, maybe at year 30, someone will come along and they'll recognize all this tireless service that I've given this organization. She never did it because she wanted any type of praise or applause. She did it because she wanted kids, little boys like me who wanted to play basketball, little girls, both basketball and started the volleyball program. She wanted them to have fun and get to grow in their character and be part of a team. And all these things you see up here that Town and Country represents, she wanted others to experience that. She, as a little girl, didn't get to play team sports. She grew up in Minnesota, and they didn't have sports programs for her. And so for her to say, I want that for this next generation, where they can grow up getting to do something fun and learning to be a great teammate, learn sportsmanship, learn respect for authority, whether that's the referee, a coach, learn how to treat the other team and how to be a great teammate. And so those things are important to my mom, and that's why she's been doing this for so long. And so again, it's humbling for me to look at her sacrifice and service. You think about if you work a 40-hour-a-week job, 50 weeks a year, it's about 2,000 hours a year. At least that's what they want attorneys to bill their clients, right? 2,000 hours a year if you're at a law firm. This has kind of been a full-time job for my mom. And to think over the course of 30 years, how many hours, maybe 50,000 hours she's given, and she's gotten $1,000 for it thanks to Recognize Good. She never did it for money. She doesn't have a selfish bone in her body. She doesn't have a sense of entitlement. She did it to serve the kids of this community. And I think about the other day, my wife Julie and I, we've got 3 little boys, and I know we're up in Northwest Austin. You guys never go south of the river, but we went to Madsell Rancho. And we went to grab some Tex-Mex, and when we were sitting there, a family walked up, and these are some friends of mine. I used to work with them, and I saw George and Isabel. We were catching up, seeing how each other, and Isabel says, "How's your mom doing? How's Kathy doing?" And I said, "Oh, she's doing great." She's like, "Is she still doing Town and Country?" I go, "Absolutely. She's getting ready for this fall." And she goes, "Did you know?" So she has an 8th grade daughter. She goes, "Did you know that Giselle?" We were just at the pool. She's like, "I see your mom everywhere. I think there's more than one Kathy Manning. I see her at Target. I see her at the grocery store." We saw her at the pool, and she says, "Is Giselle signed up for volleyball?" And Isabel says, "No, she's not." She's like, "Well, you need to sign her up. Why not?" And she's like, I didn't even know there was a volleyball program." She's like, "Well, I can help you get her signed up." And so pretty soon Giselle's playing volleyball at Town and Country. And this summer Giselle traveled the country playing on a national club team. And she loves volleyball. It's her passion. It's the thing she most enjoys in the sport she's most involved in. And she's got 2 little sisters, and they're starting at Town and Country this fall in the volleyball program. But we can talk about the 30,000 kids, and we can talk about all these different numbers, but when you think about individual stories that that my mom has an impact on, it's really fun. It's humbling for me. And so, Mom, thank you, not just for serving Town and Country, but for serving me as being a terrific mom and also being an amazing grandmother. So, love you, and thank you for all that you've done. I want to invite Rob to come up. He's going to share kind of a little bit from the technical side from Town and Country.
But
You're in finances, right?
Yes.
Okay. If I were to give you $1,000 and tell you how to turn that into $10,000, would you be willing to do that?
Well, I guess you could buy with Bitcoin.
The Bitcoin expert is Lisa Martin. She can tell you all about that. This is a special day for Kathy and for the office because we are going to present a $1,000 check. But we have what we call our Say Thanks Austin campaign starting in January. And in that campaign for 30 days, people literally from around the world get to say thank you to Kathy or any of the other legends. And so I think you're going to pick Kathy to say thank you. The legend who receives the most thank yous, and we do that via email, Twitter, paper ballots, Facebook, and a number of other social media. The legend that gets the most thank yous gets $10,000.
Awesome.
wow.
Okay?
All right.
Can you energize your social media and your social networks?
I'll hit my whole social footprint. Get it out there.
And that's what we're going to ask you to do. We'll have one of our staff members working with Kathy and Town and Country to energize those networks so we get as many thank yous as we can for Kathy. Now we get to the good part. Rob Nestor has been a part of Town and Country for a number of years. He has done a number of wonderful things, and I think the Manning family has selected Rob to come up and say a few words and make some presentations.
Happy to. But the good part was right there with John. That was fantastic, John. Thanks for that. And if anybody wants to sit, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're welcome to sit if you'd like to, or stand. This is a tremendous crowd. I'm personally thrilled to see some of Kathy's family here and some legends themselves around here that have come to this thing. So it's really a great deal. I'm just going to say a couple quick things. And George, thanks for all you guys have done with this and with our previous recognition. It's really special for us, and we appreciate it.
We like coming here.
Good. I'll just make a couple comments. So one thing that some of you all know is Kathy is very persuasive. And you know, here's an example back here in Tom, because he's been conscripted for years to be the basketball and the volleyball CIO. Tom's been doing all of that for Kathy for a really long time. And Kathy's very, very persuasive with volunteers. Our conversation kind of goes like this. We need a 3rd grade boys commissioner. You should do it. And you do. That's how it works. So, you know, she's done that. And there's one other. When it comes to complaining parents or people that have been around a while, Kathy broke the code on this by saying basically, well, I've heard what you've got to say. You should come be on the board. And that either gets them on the board or it calms them down. One of those two things. But Kathy's been very persuasive in all those ways. Let me give you a couple other examples that you might not be aware of, though. Back a few years ago, the Round Rock School Board was going through some real tough times and trying to figure out, can we still allow private organizations to use our facilities? And there was a real consideration of not allowing organizations like us to use the Round Rock facilities. And we use 2 of their high school gyms, 3 of their middle schools, 6 or 8 of their elementary schools just for basketball. So really important thing. Well, I watched Kathy one night in front of the school board just go up there and very straightforward say, what better use is there after hours than to have 1,000 of your Round Rock kids playing recreational sports in your gyms? Well, that got solved. And Town and Country has continued to be a major, frankly, contributor to the Round Rock ISD with the funds that we provide. But more importantly, it's the kids that get a chance to play recreational sports. And that's an example of Kathy that most of you never see. So there's other things that I could go on and say. I'm just going to kind of cut to the chase. I have been an advocate that we ought to put a tall statue of Kathy out there. And it ought to go right next to a slightly shorter one for Steve Brown, who is working virtually. If you see Kathy, you understand. But for that, I just want to make the point, Kathy, you are a true treasure to Town and Country and have been for so many years, and we are just delighted with this opportunity to do this. So
I'll
thank
trade you
you.
the statue for a gym.
We're working on that.
We have $1,000 down payment on that. I just can't. Okay, George, what do you want to do next?
Rob, thank you very much. I'm going to ask Steve and Tracy to come up here and help us with the gifts. Kathy, if you would come up here. We have several gifts we want to present, so Rob, you'll stand next to me. Kathy will be on the other side. Okay. And Steve and Tracy will be on this other side of Kathy. We have the gifts on the table here, and the first is a cell phone. The first one we have is a recognized good suit mug, and it has some recognized good information and a couple of symbols that talk about peace, love, understanding, caring, taking care of one another, along with some business principles such as professionalism. And this goes to Kathy. It's a suit mug and a $100 Target card. Kathy, you can hand those down that way.
All right.
Second is a pair of sunglasses. Where's your wallet? What's in your wallet?
I know better.
The next is a book of good deeds, Kathy's picture, and it has some information about recognized good, and of course the nomination. It has some blank pages. Guess what goes in the blank pages? Additional pictures from today.
Great. Great.
Next we have the bromeliad. This plant is a living remembrance of today's ceremony.
How about that?
And is our treasurer here?
He is not.
Okay, Steve is now the treasurer.
Oh.
If you would, this is our negotiable check. If you would hand that to Kathy so she can hand that to Steve, that is the $1,000. Tracy's there. You better behave yourself.
Yeah, no, trust me.
And the last is our presentation check. This is a representation of our $1,000 donation in her name to Town and Country. And Kathy, you may place that wherever you like.
Okay.
Kathy, the floor is yours.
You can hold this.
I want to thank everybody, especially my husband, who helped me through all of this all many years, especially all the IT stuff. And computers is not my expertise. As my grandkids can attest, they struggle with even texting me and so on like that, because they don't get any text back. But, anyhow, thank all my family, my grandkids, my 2 sons and my daughter here, who have come and supported me all these years over all those programs and so on, all the work I've done. And I enjoy it very much. I enjoy, I love sports and love to have kids participate in it. And I try and get to as many of my grandchildren's activities as I can. They all live here in town. And a good Saturday is when I can get to all 5 of their soccer or baseball or football games. And I hate to miss any of them, but I do the best that I can to get to all that I can. Just love it. I never had the opportunity to play sports. Minnesota didn't have sports in schools for kids. And when I came down here, we moved down in 1980, I started playing a little tennis, but knees took a problem, and so I had to stop that. And gave me more of a chance to do more time for Town and Country and so forth like that, so that's what I did. The real backbone of the program that we've had have been the excellent coaches that we've had over all the years. They give them a lot of their time and effort. I mean, I can be in the background working on schedules and getting gyms for them and so forth like that, but they're the real true heroes of doing all this. We have several of them here in the second row here who have, you know, have their kids go through the program and then they stay with us and continue to coach volleyball or basketball. Elroy's been doing it for over 25 years now. Takes 2 teams every year. Vince Cortez takes 2 teams every year, and I really appreciate that because they're the backbone of all those coaches that help all these kids out. That's what's really important. So I think it's just that the parents who do this, we have to try and convince several of them to help every year, and that, you know, you turn around and before you know it, the kids are gone, but the kids always remember that their mom or dad took time to help them out and be part of their lives, so forth like that. So that's really the really important part of it. I just encourage people that, you know, volunteer whenever you can, whether it's church or school or sports or whatever it is. It's the best thing that you can do. So I think, isn't Publishers Clearinghouse supposed to be coming out in August? So if I get a knock tomorrow, we're going to have a gym out there. Thank you.
As your first official duty, as a legend, you get to present a soup mug and a card to our nominator, Rob Nestor.
Oh.
Such a deal.
Well, many years ago, I talked him into, he became a coach, commissioner, and we got him to come out and work at Town and Country, and he's been a president and still on the board and doing many, many good things. So we really appreciate all.
So it's your fault, Kathy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming.
This concludes our ceremony. Thank you all for coming out here. We will have some pictures. I need to thank Town Country Optimist for hosting us. We will get some official photos back there. Then I think we have some refreshments over here. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.